Hello, and welcome to Humans Were Wild. Humans are capable of incredible innovations, but sometimes our decisions go spectacularly wrong. Some mistakes are hilarious, some are shocking, and some almost end in disaster. Throughout history, people have made choices that seemed like brilliant ideas at the time. But moments later, those same decisions turn into chaos, embarrassment, or even catastrophe. One small mistake, one reckless idea, or one moment of overconfidence can completely change the outcome. Today we're counting down the top 10 worst decisions made by people that went horribly wrong. These are the moments where simple choices spiraled out of control and became unforgettable stories of failure. From bizarre plans to reckless experiments, these decisions prove that sometimes the biggest disasters start with what seemed like a perfectly good idea. So brace yourself, because some of these stories are so unbelievable, you won't believe they actually happened. So, let's dive in. Number 10. Bouncy Castle Disaster. In Russia, partygoers thought placing a bouncy castle on a 3-story roof would be a great idea. At first it seemed harmless, just a fun attraction for guests to jump around and enjoy the party. People laughed, climbed inside, and bounced around like it was any other celebration. But then the weather changed. A strong gust of wind suddenly swept across the rooftop. The giant inflatable lifted into the air and was carried straight off the building. Within seconds, the castle was flying through the air and crashing into the street below. Cars were hit. Several people were injured as chaos unfolded on the ground. What had started as a playful party attraction turned into a dangerous accident almost instantly. Moments earlier, everyone had been laughing. Now people were scrambling to avoid a giant inflatable blowing through traffic. It was a shocking reminder that even something harmless can become dangerous in the wrong conditions. And in the end, the lesson was simple. Gravity and the wind always win. Number 9. Car locked in expanding foam. In Britain, a man decided to soundproof his car using industrial-strength expanding foam. At first, it seemed like a clever DIY project, a quick and easy solution to make the vehicle quieter. He sprayed the foam inside the car, expecting it to settle and harden into a neat layer of insulation. But expanding foam doesn't stop when you expect it to. It kept growing and growing. Soon the foam began filling the chassis, creeping into every gap and corner of the vehicle. The pressure warped the metal, shattered the windows, and jammed every single door. Within minutes, the entire car was sealed shut. The vehicle was completely entombed. What started as a simple soundproofing experiment turned into a mechanical disaster. Instead of a quieter car, he ended up with a car that could no longer open, move, or function at all. Sometimes DIY hacks sound brilliant online, until reality expands faster than the plan. Number 8. Peanut butter prison escape. In West Virginia, a prisoner believed peanut butter could hide him from thermal cameras. The idea sounded strange, but he was convinced it would work. So he covered himself completely in peanut butter and quietly climbed onto the prison roof, confident he would slip past the guards without being detected. For a moment, he probably believed the plan was perfect, but thermal cameras don't care about peanut butter. They detect body heat. And the guards spotted him almost instantly. The escape attempt ended just as quickly as it began. Prison staff were alerted, security responded, and the prisoner was taken back into custody before he ever made it beyond the roof. What seemed like a clever trick turned into a spectacular failure. Sometimes overconfidence can make a terrible idea sound brilliant. Moral of the story: crime always comes back to bite you, even when peanut butter is involved. Number 7. DIY tanning bed disaster. In Italy, a man decided to create his own homemade tanning bed. His setup was simple: a powerful sun lamp, surrounded by sheets of aluminum foil. The reflective foil was meant to bounce the light around and maximize the tanning effect. At least, that was the plan. Instead, the reflective surfaces amplified the light far more than he expected. The UV exposure became dangerously intense. Within minutes, the light that was supposed to give him a quick tan began causing serious burns. What started as a shortcut for convenience quickly turned into a painful medical emergency. The man's attempt to save time ended up causing real harm. Sometimes people underestimate how powerful certain tools can be when used incorrectly. And when it comes to heat, light, or electricity, even a small mistake can have serious consequences. In the end, the shortcut didn't save him any time at all. It only left him with injuries and a painful lesson. Moral of the story: some shortcuts in life simply aren't worth the risk. Number 6. Boomerang robbery fail. In Michigan, a man believed he could rob a store using a boomerang. It sounds like something out of a comedy sketch. But he actually went through with it. He walked into the store, ready to carry out his plan, convinced the weapon would help him succeed. Then he threw it. He missed the clerk completely, and the boomerang did exactly what it was designed to do. It came back, straight toward him. In a matter of seconds, the weapon returned and knocked him out cold. When police arrived, they didn't find a dangerous criminal on the run. They found a man lying on the ground, taken down by his own plan. What was supposed to be a robbery turned into an instant failure. A single moment of overconfidence turned everything against him. Sometimes bad ideas don't just fail. Sometimes they come back to hit you. Moral of the story: think twice, because your actions might come back faster than you expect. Number 5. Drinking yourself to death for a video game. In California, a woman entered a radio contest with a simple challenge: drink as much water as possible without stopping. The prize was a video game console, something that seemed small compared to the risk involved. At first, it sounded harmless. Water is essential for life, and most people never think of it as dangerous. But the human body has limits. As she continued drinking large amounts of water in a short period of time, her body began to struggle. The balance of essential minerals in her system was disrupted. Her cells started to swell, and the pressure inside her body increased rapidly. What began as a contest quickly turned into a life-threatening situation. Tragically, she died from water intoxication. A simple attempt to win a prize ended in a devastating loss, all for something that could have been easily replaced. Final takeaway: even something as harmless as water can become dangerous when taken to extremes. Number 4. Molotov cocktail versus bees. In Texas, a man discovered a bee infestation inside his shed. At first, it seemed like a manageable problem, something that could be handled with a simple solution. But instead of calling professionals or using a safe method, he chose a far more extreme approach. He decided to throw a Molotov cocktail at the shed. The moment the flaming bottle hit, the situation escalated instantly. The fire spread faster than expected. Within minutes, the shed was engulfed in flames. But it didn't stop there. The fire spread to a nearby truck. Then it reached parts of the house. What started as an attempt to remove bees turned into a full-scale fire disaster. The damage far exceeded the original problem. And while the bees were gone, so was a large portion of his property. Sometimes, trying to eliminate a small issue with a big reaction only makes things worse. Key takeaway: extreme solutions often create even bigger problems. Number 3. ATM argument gone wrong. In Florida, a man became convinced that ATMs were voice-activated. It sounded simple enough. Walk up to the machine, ask for money, and it would respond. So he approached an ATM and politely asked it to give him cash. Nothing happened. He asked again. Still nothing. As the machine stayed silent, his patience started to fade. Confusion quickly turned into frustration. And frustration turned into anger. Instead of walking away, he began shouting at the machine. When that didn't work, he started hitting it. What began as a misunderstanding turned into a full-blown outburst. The situation escalated until police were called to the scene. He was arrested for vandalism. In the end, the machine didn't respond. But the consequences certainly did. What seemed like a simple idea turned into a costly mistake. Final insight. Sometimes the problem isn't the system. It's how we react when things don't go our way. Number 2. Gender reveal gone wild. In Arizona, a father-to-be planned a gender reveal that would be impossible to forget. Instead of something simple, he chose to use explosives. The area was dry, covered in brush, and highly flammable. But that didn't stop him. When the explosive device went off, it did reveal the gender, but it also sparked something far more dangerous. A wildfire. The flames spread quickly across the dry land, growing larger and more intense with every passing minute. What started as a celebration turned into a disaster. The fire burned through more than 47,000 acres of land. Homes were threatened, people were put at risk, and the damage reached millions of dollars. This wasn't just a mistake. It was a decision that affected thousands of lives, all from a moment that was meant to bring joy. Key takeaway. Some choices may seem exciting in the moment, but the consequences can last far longer than the celebration. Number 1. Bricking a brand new Audi. In China, a woman decided to test her brand new Audi in a very unusual way. Instead of driving it, she chose to test its durability. Right there at the dealership, she began kicking the car. Then she picked up bricks and started hitting it. Her goal was simple. She wanted to see how strong the vehicle really was before taking it home. At first, it might have seemed like a bold way to test quality, but the damage added up quickly. Each strike left marks, dents, and visible destruction across the car's body. Dealership staff watched as a brand new vehicle was being damaged before it had even left the lot. In the end, the car survived. But her wallet didn't. Instead of driving away, she was left with a massive repair bill. What was meant to be a test turned into an expensive mistake. Final thought. Sometimes trying to prove a point ends up costing far more than expected. And there you have it. 10 of the worst decisions made by people that went horribly wrong. Some were funny, some were shocking, and some came dangerously close to turning into something much worse. Each one is a reminder that even a simple choice can have serious consequences. Which one surprised you the most? Was it the funniest, the craziest, or the one that made you stop and think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy stories like these, make sure to check out my previous videos. Top 10 mind-blowing facts that seem impossible, and top 10 mind-blowing history facts you never learned in school. There's a whole world of unbelievable stories waiting to be discovered. So if you want more mind-blowing moments, strange facts, and unbelievable human decisions, make sure to subscribe, because sometimes the most unbelievable stories are completely real.